Minister. The reopening of the tourism industry is required for the Jamaican economy and especially the Jamaican workers. Our economy stands to lose more than $145 billion for this year if tourism is not reopened. $35 billion for the public sector and $107 billion for the industry itself. And if we do the math on a daily basis, we're talking about $400 million lost per day. There are 350,000 workers involved in the tourism sector. And those workers need to work. They need income. And importantly, a survey was done of some 8,000 of those workers, and it indicated that 93% of the tourism workers we surveyed want or need to return to work. In addition to those in the tourism sector, we must remember our industries with linkages to several other industries around. And the workers across all of these industries benefit from the reopening of tourism. Some people may not think that the banks and our insurance companies and several others are within the tourism ecosystem. But indeed they are. And the implications for workers in all these areas are very stark and very palpable. It is based on these facts and more that we have decided to reopen our borders to tourism. However, we are committed to reopening in a safe and controlled manner to protect our most treasured asset, our people. We have developed several tools to protect our workers. I will quickly share just 4 big areas of the many. The first line of protection we have put in place is a resilience corridor for tourism travel. Tourist movement in this area will be controlled, and they will not be allowed to leave the corridor. You will notice that the corridor essentially moves from Negril along the main road areas, east-northeast, along that highway all the way to Port Antonio, so that all the properties on the windward side, or the beach side, so to speak, would be embraced in that corridor. Businesses within the corridor will go through extensive training and will not be allowed to open until they have been assessed by TPDCO, which will happen in a phased manner. I'll talk more about that in a moment. The corridor is designed to keep the workers and our country safe by only opening an area in which we have the capacity to train, oversee, and manage. And every effort is being made to ensure that this is what we call a managed space, so that we can track and trace, and also we'll be able to have ready access to whatever security and other measures that are needed, communication measures also, to ensure control. To guide businesses that are reopening, we have designed detailed operating protocols for each segment of the industry, and it's contained in this document, which tonight, having had some extra work done today with the Ministry of Health and the airports and the aviation group, we will have this on the website as of tonight, after we have made all the additions and corrections as per the meetings we had today. So we have left nothing for chance here. From training to supplies to procedures, everything is covered in this document. In fact, the World Travel and Tourism Council, a global leader in the tourism industry, has reviewed and endorsed our protocol with their stamp of approval. And we have been able to just insert the stamp right here so that that's visible also. The protocols consider the worker in every activity they are meant to undertake in performing their functions. It provides guidance for the moment they arrive to the time they return home, all to ensure every risk that can be managed is being managed at all times. In slide 4, as you would see, to drive compliance with these protocols, the Tourism Product Development Company will play a leading role. And I want to pause to pay tribute to the TPDCO at this time for the sterling work that they have done, along with some team of advisors in putting together this very, very detailed protocol that is going to be made available for the use of the industry. We have increased the staff complement of the TPDCO's Product Quality Control Department from 11 to 77 to ensure they have the proper capacity to take on this work in the prescribed areas. The ministry commenced training during this period, and indeed during the period when the closure was effected from March 10. Unto today, some 5,000 tourism workers have completed training in a number of key skilled areas. And perhaps just for your knowledge, we are pleased to advise that 2,930 persons have completed certificates in the Serve Safe courses. And I think the Ministry of Health would be interested in that, the Serve Safe, because that has a lot to do with the sanitation and the health protocols in particular, and to be more conversant with that. 55 candidates are successfully completed the Certified Restaurant Service course, another area where much of these protocols are involved. 2 groups totaling 192 started training on the 1st of June under the HEART program, and then an additional 1,250 persons are also training in this critical area by HEART. We expect that more than 1,000 will complete their certification by today, and then the others will be completed in another 2 weeks. The first cohort of the online certified hospitality supervisors completed their examination on Friday, the 29th of June in Montego Bay, Runaway Bay, and Kingston, and 16 of the 19 candidates were successful. A second cohort is expected to begin on Monday, the 6th of July, 2020. In collaboration with the University of the West Indies Open Campus, our Jamaica Center for Tourism Innovation offered introductory Spanish classes, which started May 11th, and 220 persons were enrolled. In collaboration with the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, the UWI Law Faculty and the JCTI offered a new course called Tourism and Law, which began on Tuesday the 2nd of June, and 62 persons have enrolled in that from the industry. We have ensured that all categories of workers, those both who are in furlough as well as those who are laid off, have had access to training in one area or another in preparation for during COVID activities and hopefully post-COVID activities. The next TPDCO will commence a training program now for all workers starting this weekend at the Convention Center. Training will provide detailed information on how to apply the protocols as well as the hands-on practice and role plays. And a couple of days ago, we did a tour of a number of facilities just to see how some of the workers were being trained and prepared on site and in some of the hotels, as well as to manage open areas and to understand what social distances or physical distancing, as we say, is, and a number of the other protocols. I want to ensure that all our workers know exactly what they need to do, how to respond to the variety of different situations that they will encounter, and most importantly, I want them to be trained not just in their ordinary skills, but also in the skills of communicating and supporting emotional activities and developments that may happen around them while they are at work. Each business will be assessed by TPDCO to ensure they are compliant with the protocols and that the workers have been trained before they are allowed to open. If the assessment is successful by the TPDCO, they will receive a certificate, which I'm sure you're seeing on screen. And they will receive that certificate, which must be displayed properly in their establishment to indicate that their business is the TPDCO protocol compliant. It is important to recognize that the support will not stop once the assessment is complete. The workers will receive ongoing training and the comfort of knowing the businesses that they are involved in while we monitor and ensure that there is ongoing compliance on the part of all. An element of protection we think that is very critical is to be prepared for response. I think it is critical to be prepared for the risk that we may encounter a COVID-19 positive case. So the worker must know also how to respond and respond quickly. All workers will have access to an on-site trained COVID-19 safety point person and an on-site or on-call medical professional. This combination of resources will provide workers with the resources they need for quick health consultation, isolation, and testing if required. In addition, we are in a final stage discussion now with insurance and global logistics providers. I want to make the point that we have done checks around, and Jamaica is the only country, absolutely in the Caribbean and arguably in the Americas, that has taken on this responsibility now to begin those negotiations and discussions with insurance and global logistics providers. And they will also enable travelers who test positive to be quickly isolated and repatriated. I met one of those groups in London a few years ago when we launched the first and only Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center here at the University of the West Indies. And when we met that particular group, they were very anxious to come and participate with us in the resilience development exercises, particularly because they were working in Haiti after the earthquake. And among the many things they do is to provide quick response to remove distress situations and to deal with medical emergencies. And we're very pleased that they are in consultation and discussions with us now, looking at a program that will enable a low-cost coverage for visitors who come to the country. And without trying to give the full figure, but I can assure you it will be less than $20 per person for that coverage, which will allow them to be rescued and repatriated once there is a positive case of COVID-19 in Jamaica. So, this will help to reduce the strain on our public health system, making sure healthcare capacities that we know we have is consistent for our workers and for our communities. I have indicated these measures, which I believe are also among the first of its type, because when we sent these measures to the World Tourism and Travel Council, they immediately came back and said that of all the protocols that they have looked at, Jamaica is the best and most robust of them all. We just want to emphasize that this Andrew Holness government takes the lives of our people seriously. And we will not make any step or do any action in terms of building and securing the livelihood without full cognizance of the need to secure the lives of our people. I thank you.